Hi, it's KatieStories. Welcome to Katie Stories number 30, coming to you from campCovid. Decided to sit against the fireplace because I'm running out of spots in the house. I don't want to bore you with the same walls all the time. And hey, my hair's getting long. So are my roots. But I got a little root touch-up thingy, this spray thing. I didn't think it really did a darn thing, but well, we'll see how that looks on me in a few weeks. I don't care. I hope you don't. So how you doing? I've missed you guys. I can't believe it's been 2 weeks. I actually looked at I looked at last night and went, oh my God. Like for some reason, I thought it had only been a week and I was going to wait another week. Guess I better smarten up. Getting kind of complacent sitting around the campCovid. Anyway, not really miss this. I love doing this. It's interesting because I wanted to talk about, I posted a picture the other day saying that I was going to tell you about some things that I'm considering letting go of, maybe even just for a while. But I've really been trying to look at the things that consume my time on a day-to-day basis that I'm not doing right now. One of them is grocery shopping. Like, how many times a week do we need to go for groceries? And pre-COVID, I would stop in every day sometimes, the bank or groceries or the drugstore, and go see my big brother. I still see him and have these socially distant visits, bring him a coffee or some treats. But I don't need to go to the grocery store. Like, once a week, even every 10 days, if you buy enough meat and stuff and freeze it, can make it a little easier. The one that shocks me the most though, I don't know. Well, we'll see about this in the fall because my contract's not up till October. But oxygen. I love my hot yoga. But you know what? I'm working out at home now. I'm doing great. Of course, many of the instructors are teaching online, which is great. But I also know enough of my own things that I can do on my own that I've known for years, and extra really great goodies that I picked up from Samantha when she was training me. So I'm kind of, looking at that, thinking, the half-an-hour drive there, because I live way on the south of our town and this great oxygen hot yoga place is on the north end. And then, you're there working out for an hour, even if I don't chit-chat with people. Yeah, because I'd never stay around and do that, right? But even if I don't, there's still, jumping in the car, grabbing stuff for dinner, flying home, sweaty mess, need a shower. So it's like a 3-hour ordeal. So I am sort of wondering, is that something I can start doing myself at home and save that time and use it to even learn more about technology, to learn more about YouTube, which I am slowly. I'm getting there, just baby steps. And we'll see. And I just hope you are doing great and you're using this time. If you're waking up on the wrong side of bed and you got a little time, just be with it. Be with yourself. Because I think before we can give our love to the people in our family, if you're sharing this small space, you got to give it to you first and just meditate and balance that out. Yeah. And so I'm having one of those days, I'll be honest. But I was honest with my family, and it's great when you can hold space for one another. We're all getting really good at that. Just hold some space, don't take it personal, and then, take ownership of what's floating through you and bothering you. And I can't please everybody. There's some other things right now that I've been doing online that just right now I need a break from. And it's okay. We have to follow our heart and do what we know is best for us, right? Okay, well, it wouldn't be Katie Stories without another little story. So, I made this really great connection about 311 Elizabeth the other day. I went, oh my God, you know what? My mom, she lived this life for 8 years. My mom didn't leave the house. She was a little bit like Shields on Shameless. But she didn't greet people at the door with gloves and make them take their shoes off. She wasn't a germophobic. I think, we never really knew some form of mental illness or a falling out from the Catholic Church. We don't know. She wouldn't talk about it. So from the time I was almost 5, I'm a December baby, so 1971 is when, it all started coming down on her. And until 1979, when I was in grade 7, she went to our cousin's wedding, and she went out to Woco and bought 2 blouses, 2 pairs of slacks, and some cute little plastic sandals, and that was it. She started getting out of the house. And but it's interesting, when I look back now, 8 years, the only place she would go is if we all went out for a drive. So we live in Nanaimo, like the Central Island, so we would go for a drive to Port Alberni or Duncan, or go see my big sister in Victoria. Then she would get out and shop and things. Sometimes even just a little walk, at Qualicum Falls, or we would go to Nanu's Beach, but she wouldn't come out in town. So I think she was ashamed. And that's why I'm always really big on being open and talking about mental illness and the stigma. There's no shame in being open and helping one another, and not being judgy, not avoiding people because they're a little different or a little flawed, because we learn about our own triggers when we hold space. And yeah, we gotta walk the walk, right? I can't just say that I love people and send all this love out and then be afraid to be around certain people because of some of that behaviors, or, even when you're an adult, you still can get triggered from things. So let's help each other heal. I just think there's a whole new way to look at this in this world. So if you need some distant healing Reiki, you just hit me up and I'll send you some. I don't charge for that, okay? I just feel honored that it flows through me, and it's quite strong. It works really well, so I'm happy to send that. And a little other thing I wanted to mention, since I was talking about my mom and about this uncertain time, is, it's giving a lot of people permission to see what they want in their life and what's not working, and let go of things. And just before my mom passed away, it was really cool. I'm so glad I told her a secret, because I was quitting my job. Jeff and I and Talia were going to Disneyland, and I decided I was really unhappy in insurance. It was 19 years, and it's, negative business. And so I went to bed that night and I prayed, and I just said, God, everyone thinks I'm like a total wacky doodle for throwing away a good wage, pension, full benefits. And at that time, I actually wasn't going in to be an education assistant. I was trying Mary Kay through my big sister. And but the EA program was my backup. I had really thought about doing that for a long time. And so that night I went to bed and I said that prayer. And I just felt something through me just say, toss that worry over your shoulder like an old Kleenex. Just don't worry about it. You're going to be fine. And it was really cool because I told my mom about that. And about 5 days before we were leaving for Disneyland, my husband says, Katie, Talia, dress up. Yeah, we're going to go for dinner. Nice big dinner. Bold night. Okay. So we dressed up, and I was like, well, should we really be spending this money? Like, we're going to Disneyland next week. Why are we going out for an expensive dinner? And he said, no, don't worry. I'll tell you when we get there. So when we got there, turns out my husband's company had a major restructure, and his income pretty much doubled that year. That was 2007. I went to Disneyland. My mom passed away while I was there. That was really hard, going to the happiest place on earth, and I came home to the saddest place on earth. But from there, God really did keep his word, because the Mary Kay thing just wasn't for me. So I sailed on into the EA program and just worked a little bit, doing noon hour supervision, made a tiny bit of money just to float my boat. And for the next 2.5 years, I was in school. But I was also using all of the pieces that I'd learned in healing so far in the self-awareness pieces. And it was perfect. The timing was great. I was in alignment and flowing. So you really got to trust yourself. When you've had enough of something, let it go and trust. And that's scary, isn't it? But I look back at what I've made with the school district all these years. Gee, did I make a few thousand that I spent on schooling back? Yes. And when I didn't make an income? Yes. Are we better off than we ever have been now? Yes. So it works. And my mom, when I was doing counseling before she passed away, she was worried. She said, Kate, I don't want the counselor to think I was a bad mom. Do you think I was a bad mom? And I said, no, Mom, no. This is about me. And there was no handbook for growing up, but those things did affect me. I'm struggling. I need help. And it's not about you. It's about me, Mom. And so as I went through that journey and that really intense healing, you know, from 2003 to 2007, just before she passed away, I'll never forget when she just looked at me one day. We were talking about something and I was really clear, and Mom looked at my brother and she looked at me and said, you know, Kate, I was just telling Fred, Katie's really coming into her own. And I was so grateful to hear that at that second, Mom got it. And she knew it wasn't about her or her failure as a mother, because she was a beautiful mother. She just, all mothers are beautiful, right? So you just go through the things you go through, and you love people the only way you know how sometimes. Every generation is healing and learning differently than the last one. So yeah, I just say this because if you're young and you're watching this, I would rip my hair out if I'd been trapped in the house with my mom when I was 18. I say that to my daughter. It's funny. So we just do what we can to be kind and give each other space. But yeah, it's tough sometimes. Okay, so I'm going to leave off for today because next week I really want to start talking about the book A New Earth and where that really started to help things really shift as I came up and got closer to the awakening that I kind of told you about in the first few stories. See, we're almost full circle, but I'm not ready to let you go yet. Okay, so I'll see you next week. Have a wonderful day. Keep smiling. Go bake something. Go sew something.